Hello there guys, UltraGamer64 here, and today I'm going to be giving you guys a review on The Strangers Prey at Night. And trust me, yeah, I have some choice words to say about this movie. It's not good. I'm just kidding. My my view on this movie is great. I thought this was an outstanding movie. But just forewarned, there are going to be spoilers. I'm not holding anything back for this video. So if you guys don't want spoilers, then don't continue past this point. Just know that I really enjoyed the movie and that it's freaking amazing. And I would definitely suggest going to watch it. But anyways, let's get on to the spoil-filled review. I'm going to be going for the negatives first and then going to the positives because literally, in my opinion, there are only two negatives to this movie, and I will be covering those super quick so I can finally get to the positives, because I just saw this movie yesterday. I didn't get the chance to make this video yesterday, and I've been waiting all day today to make it. So, without further ado, let's get started. The first negative. I didn't really like how the strangers knew exactly where the characters were going to be, literally at all times. I know that was a theme in the first one, to make you feel unsafe in your own home, and to show that these kind of horrific crimes can happen to literally anybody for literally any reason, even if that reason is simply you were home. The second movie kind of projects that farther, but it also gets dialed back because since the characters are in a trailer park, unless you have one of the characters constantly following around, one of the strangers anyways, constantly following around these teenagers, then you're not going to know where they were. And especially with one scene that stood out to me, they go into a trailer, and there's like a baby's crib, and the dollface killer is underneath a blanket, like she was waiting for them, like she knew that they were going there. Like, you wouldn't have known that they were going there. Like, sure, I can believe if you maybe saw them and followed from behind, but how long was she sitting in that house waiting for them to enter? Like, I don't know. I know it's a movie, and you got to progress the plot, but the strangers did such a good job in the first movie to know everywhere that their victims were going to be, but it was realistic because it was just one set location at one set house. This, it's an entire trailer park. The characters could literally go anywhere, and somehow they know that they're going to go to that one trailer. I mean, come on. I didn't really like that. It was kind of annoying how the strangers knew where they were every single time they went into a trailer. Another instance of that, when the brother is kind of trying to mend the sister's wounds, and all of a sudden the truck slams through the side of the trailer. That was kind of dumb too. I'm sorry to say, but that was really dumb. Like, they didn't know that they were in that trailer. I'm sorry. There's no possible way, no how, that the strangers knew that those kids were in that specific trailer. None of them saw them. There were no scenes before indicating that strangers saw them go in there. It's just not a thing. So, I mean, I guess it did get to one of the best scenes in the movie. So I give it props for that. But just how the strangers knew where they were going to be at all times, just, I don't know. I didn't really like that. Second negative, the cliffhanger. Yes, the cliffhanger. Of course, there's got to be a cliffhanger. Even though, in my personal opinion, there should not be another Strangers movie. Basically, in the end, the sister is in the hospital room with the brother. He is severely injured. He's in the hospital bed. He's got IVs hooked up to him, everything like that. And the sister fills up this glass of water, and all of a sudden there's a knock at the door that is eerily similar to the knock that the strangers perform when they're about to enter your house. And she drops the cup of water, and then it cuts to black. That was annoying, to be completely honest, because in the movie, all three strangers were killed. They were 100% dead as crap. And you're going to throw this twist in, like, there was never any indication before that there was a fourth stranger, or that anyone was working with them, or that one of them lived. Like, there was no indication of any of that whatsoever. I just thought that the twist was very unnecessary, or like they should have had that knock and then had a nurse walk in to show, like, hey, the strangers are gone now. They are dead. Because the strangers are not, like, immortal or anything. They're not they're not like Freddy or Jason. They are just normal people. If you kill them, they're dead. They're not coming back. And I thought it would have been a really good, nice wrap up to the series. But now, there is potential for a third Strangers movie. And I don't really like that. As we will get into a little bit later. So, going on to the positives. This movie builds suspense like no other. The beginning is shot great. The only gripe I have with the beginning is that the strangers killed off the uncle and aunt way too quick. Like, the aunt was dead within 2 minutes of the opening scene. Like, the strangers do not work like that. They freak you out. They make you feel unsafe in your own house. They make you feel unsafe anywhere that you go. The strangers don't work like that. They don't just come in your house, kill you straight off the bat. They don't do that. As I will cover later. But, yeah, you get a clear shot of the doll-faced killer. One of the females, there's 2 females, 1 male in the trio of strangers. And, other than the super fast kill, the scene was really, really good. Great suspense. Showed that the strangers basically control your life and hold it in their hand once you are targeted by them. Very, very good scene. And later on we see how the uncle and aunt turned up. Well, at least the uncle, he had his lower jaw kind of dislocated a little bit from his top jaw. And the skin on his face was pretty much gone. So the strangers don't mess around. So basically, our main characters. They were alright. I honestly liked the main characters. The mom and the dad didn't really seem that good of parent characters. I mean, they were sending their daughter off to boarding school, I think it was. And there didn't really seem like much of a reason for that. I think that they should have given a little bit more of a backstory to the daughter, because she honestly didn't seem that bad. Like, sure, she smoked, and she was a little bit, like, on the disobedient side, but she didn't really seem to do anything major to have to go to boarding school or have her parents send her off, because that's one of the big, like, conflicts of the movie, is that her parents are sending her off to this boarding school and she doesn't like that. That's one of the main conflicts of this movie. And I feel like they could have showed a little bit more of what she did to deserve this and her bad behavior to deserve this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just have a character be bad for the sake of being bad. You need a reason of why they're bad, you know? So, that's the sister character. She's definitely the most developed. The brother wasn't really that developed. He tries to help his sister. He's very protective of his sister. He's pretty smart when it comes to trying to avoid the strangers. The only thing that's faulty for him is that the strangers somehow have this existential, like, sense of where their victims are. That's really the only, as I was discussing earlier, how they knew that they were in that trailer when they should not have. The brother would have been perfectly fine. Same with the sister if the strangers didn't have this overwhelming knowingness of the entire place, but that's just a nitpick. But yeah, the parents were decent. Sister was a good character. Brother was a good character. Brother definitely has the best scene in the entire movie, by far. So getting to the killers for a second. I know this is kind of all over the place. I'm just kind of trying to cover all my points here. The killers, they work a whole lot faster in this movie than they did in the first one. We didn't get a kill by the strangers in the first one until the very end of the movie. This one, it happens about 30 minutes in. About 30, 35, 40 minutes in. The mother is killed off straight away. I was not expecting it. In the first movie, the strangers tied up their victims. They toyed with them. They messed with them a whole lot. A whole lot more than they did in this one, anyways. But yeah, the mom was killed off straight away, trying to escape the doll-faced killer, stabbed in the side. Nothing really significant there. She dead. The dad killed off in a very, very brutal and gory fashion, to be honest. Not the kill itself being gory and brutal, but the way the kill was executed. So they're driving along, and one of the strangers throws like a brick or a rock into the window, and they crash into a trailer. And The next shot, the horn's ringing. The dad's like against the horn. The brother wakes up the dad. Dad starts screaming. You don't know why. He leans back. There's a giant wooden post through his like stomach and chest area. Like, and he's not dead. He's enduring this. And so the son goes off to get help to try and call the police and get his dad out of there. Over in the distance, there's the sackhead killer just standing over there. He walks around the trailer, opens up the door, gets in the car, and sits there. This scene, what guys, you have no idea unless you've watched this movie. This scene was tense. He was just sitting in there with the dad for like 3 minutes. He goes to turn on the radio. He changes the stations while the dad is trying to talk to him. And Sackface is just stone-faced, not saying a word to him. And then all of a sudden, he just pulls out a screwdriver and slowly digs it into the dad, just coughing up blood and killing. It was insane. Like, it was such a good kill. And such a suspenseful moment. Just not knowing if he's going to keep the dad tortured there, or if he's going to kill him straight up. Like, it was such a good scene, guys. Getting to the best scene of the movie, between the Sackface killer and the brother actually fights Sackface and gives him a pretty good run for his money. Sadly, Sackface did overpower him eventually. But they're fighting by the pool, and he's swinging the axe at the brother. The brother's dodging, ducking, weaving, everything he has to do. And then he takes a knife, tries to stab at... I think the knife came from the dead third stranger. I don't even know her name. It didn't really... Nobody really gives a name to her. She's just kind of there, you know? But she didn't really play a significant role. The brother takes the knife, tries stabbing at Sackface. They fall into the pool. They tussle in there a lot. Very, very suspenseful, trying to... Like, you're wondering who's going to win out in this battle. And then the brother ends up losing the knife. Sackface gets a hold of it. And he goes up to the surface of the water, starts trying to run out. And sadly, it doesn't end well for the brother. He does get wounded pretty bad. But Sackface just kind of leaves him in the pool, expecting him to die. But the sister is able to get him out in time. And that's how he ends up in the hospital later on. The killers themselves. Sackface was a very, very, very cool and good villain. Dollface was pretty good too. She got majority of the kills. Actually, no, they're both... Sackface and Dollface are even. Each got one kill. Dollface got a kill off on the mom, and Sackface got a kill on the dad. But the other one doesn't really do much. Her whole thing is just to die, really, and force the sister out of the tunnel that she hides in from Sackface. But yeah, all three strangers were killed off. First it was the unnamed one, then Dollface, and then Sackface. Dollface's death was very, very, very cool, in the fact that she would have been dead a whole lot earlier in the movie if the brother would have been strong enough, because he had a gun up to her face, and she was just taunting him. She's like, "What? Are you gonna shoot me?" And he doesn't end up doing that. He could have killed her, but he didn't. So then the sister finally takes it into her own hands, gets a shotgun from a dead police officer. That's a whole scene in itself, and it's great. You kind of saw it coming, but it was still a great scene. So the sister gets a hold of a shotgun, shoots Babyface, and she falls to the ground. She's not dead yet. Or Dollface, my bad. She's not dead yet. Sister goes up to her. She takes her mask off. She's like, "Why are you doing this?" And Dollface just starts chuckling. Great, great scene. And she's like, "Why not?" It's like, oh my god, you guys are awesome. Like, the strangers are so good at what they do. They really are. And just to give that reason, like, why not? Like, murderers in movies always gotta have a reason. Like, Freddy Krueger, he was killed in the... he's getting revenge on the parents against the kids. Jason, he's trying to avenge his mom or do this and that. Just that it adds a whole level of realness when it's just no motive. Because there are murders that happen that are no motive whatsoever, or just that feeling of, hey, why not do this, you know? And it just adds a whole lot of depth to that. When Sackface dies, it's very, very, very awesome. The sister smoking, she has a lighter, and he tried to ram the police vehicle with his truck, and it started to leak gas. She threw the fire on there, lit the gas. The coolest part of that scene, Sackface didn't try to get out. He didn't try to escape. He didn't try to do anything like that. Didn't try to kill her one last time. Like, he just sat there in the truck and straight-faced just got blown up. And you think the sister's fine, but then the flaming car starts moving. Sackface drove after her in a flaming truck to try and get that final kill, because at this time he thought the brother was dead already, so he didn't have to worry about it. But he starts going after the sister in a flaming truck, and he gets out, he's all charred and burned, he tries killing her, and he ends up collapsing. And you think that he's dead then. He's had 2 near-death experiences by this point. And she ends up getting the attention of a mom and son passing by out on the road. She gets their attention, they stop, and then the mom freaks out, gets back in the car, starts to drive away, and Sackface is behind her again. So she gets up on the truck, Sackface grabs the truck, she takes a bat from the bed and hits him. And the scene was so cool. It shows his head like snapped to the side, and he goes flying off and hits the ground, and you don't see him for a while. So I'm thinking, oh, he's hanging on the bottom of the truck or something. And then eventually you see his body on the road and know that he is 100% dead. So, yeah, that's the movie, guys, and it was really, 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 really good. Suspense-wise, the way that they build up the killers and don't let you see them until you don't even see the killers except for Dollface until the 30-minute mark at least. Great build up to the killers, great suspense. Like I said, the other one besides Dollface and Sackface didn't really do much at all. She didn't really have any significant role whatsoever. Kind of sucks, but oh well. Yeah, suspense was great. The horror element was great. The kills were great. Just, guys, if you get the chance to go out to the theaters and watch this movie, do it 100%. It's literally, in my personal opinion, it's one of the best movies that I have seen in these past few years. So, anyway, guys, I think that's going to wrap up the review. If you guys enjoyed this review and you're excited to see, if you're excited to see The Strangers Prey at Night, then please be sure to leave a giant like, and remember to keep on gaming, stay amazing, and I will see you guys next time.